Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Hey, it's the day of the elections. Yes, listen, congratulations to the Republicans and all of my fellow Americans. Hey, Trump's back in. Woo, it's going to be a great ride. Listen, man. Listen, I love politics, but I could have called this one. This channel is not about politics, but I just want to say one thing. I think what we're going to see and the reason why Trump actually pulled this off again is because it isn't necessarily about Trump. I think it's more about the Republican Party and the American people really sick of the whole push towards this, lack of a better term, woke society that has been created. I really think the Democrats and the Liberal Party have pushed so far left that it really turned off a lot of people who said, we're sick of it, we're tired of it. And so we're now seeing the House and the Senate and a conservative president. Oh, it's going to be a ride. I love it. So listen, congratulations, America, and hopefully this transition goes well. It is now Wednesday at 1:22. I think that's around 3 or 3:30 a.m. in the morning in America. But this isn't about politics, my friend. This is about a very particular subject. When is it okay for you to lie to your wife? And this came up for one very particular reason. I've been mentoring a couple for a while now who've been going through some serious marital problems. It started from the time that the wife suspected that there was something going on, that her husband was cheating. She got a message from the so-called lover, and the husband denied it. And he did the right thing. Wow, listen, guys, if you're going to step out, the first thing you have to do is deny it. Do not ever admit to it. I'm just telling you that right now. But hold your judgment before we get ahead of ourselves. After you listen to this video, you will understand why I specifically say deny it, right? Because there's a very specific reason, and it's not what you think. That's what we're going to get into with this video. Now, I told the wife, I said, listen, stop digging. You still have your husband. You still have your life, you have your 2 kids, you have your house, everything is intact. Let it go. The man denied it, he let it go, and the woman is no longer in your life. You know that for sure. Let it go. And she said, I cannot let it go. I said, okay, well, be careful what you find when you go digging, because you will find it, and it will destroy you, and it will destroy your marriage. Lo and behold, she did not listen to what I said. She kept digging, and she kept digging, and she went back 7 years in her life to discover that, oh, he actually did something 7 years ago, and he's been lying about his little extramarital affair with various women. So 7 years ago, 7 long years ago, she's found stuff where the man did some shit. So now it's no longer about the present day. She has dug up stuff that he's done 7 years ago that she didn't know about. Now in her eyes, her husband is the best man ever, and he's hers, and she is a devoted wife, and he's a devoted husband. And this is another side lesson for you all. Stop putting your partners on pedestals when it comes to morality. We are all human beings. We're going to screw up in some way, shape, or form. But the difference between a man and a woman is that, ladies, if you ever screw up as far as cheating, you better make sure your husband do not ever find out. Gentlemen, you don't have a big problem if the wife finds out, because cheating for a man is different to cheating to a woman. Yeah, you're going to come at me with that again, but I've went through this subject before, and I don't want to bring it up again in this particular video. And one of the major reasons that you got to lie to your wife or lie to your spouse is because women have a higher degree of neuroticism than men do. What does that mean? That means that women respond to negative information much harder than men do. The same negative information given to both parties will affect them differently. Women get affected a lot harder when the same thing is done to her versus a man. We are not the same when it comes to negativity. That's one of the reasons why women tend to leave marriages much faster than men, because men can handle the pain and the pressures of life more than women can. And of course, because women have the opportunity to get out without feeling any more pain, or so she thinks, she feels that she could walk away and take half of the man's stuff. Men don't have that opportunity. He loses what he built with this woman. So all I'm saying to you guys is there are reasons where and when you have to lie to your partner. Men, you have to lie to your women. Yeah. You know, the beautiful thing about the internet is that you can always find someone who understands this. And I just found this on the Happy Wife School channel. And Karen, I love you, my dear. You've laid it out perfectly. So I'm going to go through this video with you and we're going to critique it. But more importantly, ladies, it is better for you to hear it from a woman than coming from a man on the reasons why it's important for your husband to actually lie to you sometimes. Okay? I didn't say all the time. Sometimes. So let's go and let's listen to Karen.
So I'm not condoning or telling good men to lie, but helping women and good men to understand that as women, you'll hear this many times today, that we are not emotionally mature enough to handle the responsibility of knowing the truth. So how do we understand that both as women and good men and find what works in the relationship? It's not good or bad. We literally are wired differently and we literally live in two different realities. Good men must know you cannot trust your wife with the truth, and yet there are times you are going to need to share the truth, and we'll talk about how to do that for good men and how as women to handle that.
You ever heard a woman say, no, I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me yet. Women cannot handle reality. They live in a delusional world most of the time. They need it to feel good all the time. Men don't have that luxury, and they don't live in that reality. Men want to hear the truth. Tell me the damn truth. How many times you've heard that, especially from your wife or your spouse? No, I don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me that. Oh, I don't want to see that. Oh, I don't want to see that. They live in a different reality. Women don't want to see anything gross. They don't want to see war. They don't want to see death. They don't want to see any of that. Shield them from that. But men, we have to look at that shit. That's the reality of life. So you got to understand the difference between the sexes.
But good men need to see the reality of their wife and understand the dynamics in your marriage so that you are not duped by your wife, that you are supposed to be completely transparent, which is what we gaslight you to think you should do, but you can't. And this is for us as women to understand our differences, accept them, and find a path forward in the marriage that works. As I shared, I'm not emotionally mature enough and in my wiring as a woman to handle all the truths my husband might tell me. And I have a very, very honest husband that knows, and if again was with me today, would tell you he overshares. He's an oversharer. He knows that. And I have to embrace it to make me stronger, but I can't always handle everything he tells me. And there's plenty that I would rather not know.
You heard that? That's so true. I have the same issue with my wife. If I ever try to talk about like an event that happened in one of my past relationships, my wife's not interested in hearing it. No, why do I have to know that? I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. But I want to know shit about her relationships. Yeah, I want to hear. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, that's the past. I want to hear as much as possible. She do not like to share. She finds it disrespectful that she shares anything about her past relationships. But the point is that we operate differently. She sees it as almost as if I still want it, or I'm still cheating because I'm thinking about it, or I'm still involved with that relationship because I still even remember it. She would prefer me to wipe it from my memory just so that she knows that she has complete and utter control over me and the relationship that she's in. You understand what I'm saying? Gentlemen, tell me if you experience this.
And when we can embrace that and know that about ourselves as women, we can get out of our fantasy and wrong thinking that we need to know every little thing and every deep thought or fear or feeling from our husbands, and embrace our differences and find that dance and actually create a safe environment when something does need to be shared, that we can put on our big girl pants, find the emotional maturity in us, and work through it and not weaponize it against our husbands.
Thank you. Because that's what women do. If a man screws up in any way, shape, or form, the woman is going to weaponize it because ultimately she wants complete and utter control. I think she's going to get into this here, but I don't want to jump the gun on what she's trying to say. But this is ultimately what the woman tries to do. She needs control. She don't even know that she's doing it, but that's what she's trying to accomplish. Why? Because women always feel that they're vulnerable. And in order to actually feel that they have some measure of control, they need to dominate the man. They need to emasculate the man. Yeah.
5 reasons a good man should not be honest with his wife. And knowing that there are caveats to this and not condoning lying, but understanding our differences as women and good men. Number 1. Women weaponize the truth and vulnerabilities of their husbands. We will use a good man's vulnerabilities and truth as ammunition as to why our husbands can't be trusted, which results the response of a good man to his wife, knowing his truths and vulnerabilities are used as ammunition against him, is why he begins to hide things. It's a protective mechanism. It is not a malicious path to hurt his wife. An example is telling your wife about your past mistakes, even before you met her. You think it's a safe place to share your past, maybe mistakes you've made, relationships you've had with women, and you will share thinking that it's okay to do so, and your wife says, yeah, you can share that with me. And then we store it and we use it as ammunition against you in a multitude of ways. Tell me the examples, men or ladies, how you've done this, and men sharing examples of how this has happened in your marriage. That helps normalize these issues for each other to know we're not alone.
Oh, yes. I see this in many, many relationships. Women do this shit all the time. Gentlemen, you never open up to your woman about mistakes that you've made, whether it was outside the marriage, and for God's sake, don't do it if it was inside the marriage. You shut that away. You discard, you throw away, you eliminate any information, any evidence at all that she could actually find that will come back and haunt you. Because it's not going to be like, wow, okay, you did that, but now you're a great man. No. She's going to terrorize the shit out of you, my friend. It's going to be your worst nightmare. Even though you know without a doubt that she has a lot of skeletons in her closet that she will not expose to you. You know that. Both of you know it. But because she has the information, now it's a weapon against you. She's not going to admit to you that what she did in the past, little things she did in the past that would drive you insane, that could also destroy the relationship. She is not going to do that to you unless she wants to hurt you bad.
The second reason a good man should not be honest with his wife, your honesty and vulnerability will be perceived by your wife as hurtful and wrong for who she is. So, for example, a good man is a problem solver. He would like to share with his wife his challenges in the marriage and relationship and his experience of her. And some of you listening have done this by sharing a video or two with your wife. Say you bring up to your wife, you don't listen to me. Meaning I share with you what I'm feeling or a problem I'm having, and you don't hear me, and you're not willing to do anything about it, and you just make me wrong. You tell your wife that in a kind, calm way to try to work on the issue. And then we will turn that around and take it as a personal attack. and perceive that you're telling us we are wrong or defective in some way. And then we'll go into total crazy making mode and turn it back onto you and make you the bad guy of why we do the things we do.
Yeah, you're the bad guy now because you're being emotionally abusive. God, I had a hard time getting that word out. You're now being emotionally abusive. Anything you tell a woman that is negative, in other words, she can't do anything wrong. She will not acknowledge it. It will not be something that she will take accountability for. But what she will do immediately is to turn it around and say, but what about you? Remember, 7 years ago, this is what you did. This is what makes you an asshole. This is what makes you untrustworthy. And you're looking at me? You're looking at me? How dare you? How dare you? All of a sudden, it's about you. You're the bad person. That's why, gentlemen, keep your damn mouth shut, okay?
Which then a good man gets sucked into that, gets gaslit, thinking that there's some validity to what his wife is saying, and the issue gets turned back on him and things he needs to change. A good man will try to change those things, and his wife still isn't happy and is still making him wrong and bad. The third reason a good man should not be honest with his wife: women conflate what you do and associate it with something totally unrelated. And again, please, the men listening, share example in the chats or comments of how you've told your wife one thing and then she turns it into a totally separate issue and conflates the truth you are telling her. And we will say, if you did this, how can I trust you over here with that? And just blow it up to be so much bigger than what it is. And give a couple of examples. And I tried to think of,
this is so freaking normal. Same problem I'm hearing with this couple that I'm dealing with. How can I now trust him because I knew that he'd been holding this secret and so many other little secrets for all of these years? I trusted him wholeheartedly. So now everything is conflated into, this is the worst possible human being that I have been living with for the last 15 years. Yeah. That's what women do. That's called conflating. You're literally taking one event and you're making it into a massive mountain, not realizing that you're literally destroying your whole freaking relationship and what otherwise is a good man. See this many times. But it's hard telling a woman these things, so I'm so happy that Maggie is saying this. Because the minute I would say this to a woman, she would automatically think that, okay, I'm just a man who don't understand, and I'm just a man who just wants to be on her husband's side. I'm a man because this is what men do. I will get every excuse. So I don't even freaking try to argue it because I know it's not going to make any freaking difference. So I am so happy for Karen here. Did I say Maggie? I think I said Maggie early on. Sorry, Karen. But point is, ladies, you have to realize that this is an issue with you. And other women see it. Men see it all the time. But we can't stay shit because you ignore those conversations. You're not interested in curing yourself. You're not interested in preserving the sanctity of your marriage. You're just interested in getting back at the man and demoralizing him and demasculating him so that you can have control over him. That's all you want. But then when you break him, then you say, oh, he's not a man. And then you walk away from it. Make that shit make sense.
Maybe you share with your wife that you went to a strip club once with some buddies. And she gets upset and says, well, if you did this once, how do I know you're not doing it now? Or if you did this, then how do I know you're not cheating on me with other women? And we will totally conflate that. So I have another example from a student who his wife was constantly on him about what he ate and his diet. And this is like a healthy guy, physically active, reasonably healthy, but he liked to enjoy an ice cream from Dairy Queen once in a while. And he also liked some Oreos once in a while. And his wife would fly off the handle if any of those things were in the house. And this was like a pretty stout guy. And I also remember him sharing, like, his wife would make him lunch, but only make him like half a sandwich with a little side of veggies, and then get upset when he wanted more to eat and would get something to eat. But he used to hide Oreos. He would hide Oreos in the trunk of his car. So when he wanted an Oreo, he could have them without his wife being on his back about having an Oreo every once in a while. And she conflated that of, if you're lying about this and hiding this from me, then I can't trust you with anything. What else are you lying to me about? And that's how we conflate the issues. Number 4 of why good men should not why good men should not be honest with their wives. Telling the truth makes you a liar in her eyes. This one really, like, to me, was a total mind F. Like, this is what we do. And I had to see this in myself. Again, why I was late coming on today, I had to see these things in me in a deeper way than I have before. Telling the truth makes you a liar in her eyes. Isn't that just, like, crazy? So, example, maybe you were scared to tell your wife you were going to go away with some buddies for a couple days to go hunt or fish, and didn't want to face how she would make you feel doing that. And say you've got a business trip. So you tell your wife, I've got a business trip these couple days, but you're actually going hunting or fishing with your guy buddies. And then you feel bad. You lied. So you tell your wife, I'm really sorry. I told you this, but this is actually what happens. And you tell the truth. And then she makes you a liar. Well, you're a total liar. What else are you lying to me about? So telling the truth makes you a liar in your wife's eyes.
Gentlemen, if you're with a woman like that, you put yourself in that position. I will not make my wife put me in that position where I have to lie about something. Okay? I'm a different animal. I'll just say, listen, I want to go here. I'm going there. You have a problem with it? Let me know your problems. And then I will try to make her feel comfortable about whatever issues she's going to have with it. That don't work, and I don't see the rationale from her perspective, I'm going on a damn trip. It's as simple as that. Yep, want to go with the boys? I'm going with the boys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anytime you make your wife control you in that fashion where she feels that she has complete autonomy over you, your whole presence, you have become her bitch. And she will lose respect for you, my friend. So if you're there, you better learn how to break out of it. You need to call me and let's have a discussion on that shit. Because this is not a position you want to be in. Because it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get better. It just gets worse as she gets older and you get older.
And number 5, why a good man should not be honest with his wife. We twist your truth into our victim story as why we are so unhappy. We twist your truth into our victim story as why we are so unhappy. So in this one, we might pretend we are okay with what you share. I'll give an example in a moment. But then we use it to weave it into our victim story to blame you of why we are so unhappy. But a term I use, happy pill it, meaning stuff it down, shove it, pretend everything is okay, and never tell our husbands how we feel. But we use it to tell ourselves, this is the reason why I'm so miserable. This is the reason why I'm so unhappy in my marriage. And it might be maybe I know I've got a million examples of this, but and this one was like down to the wire and I was having to work through some things. But when I came up with is maybe, your husband or man is honest with his wife that he doesn't enjoy going to her family's events. And he'd rather not go to all the family events, maybe even something like Christmas or a family reunion or a gathering. And a woman says, oh, okay, that's okay. I can understand. That's fine. But then she weaves it into her victim story. He doesn't like my family. He's not involved. He doesn't do anything with me. And we never tell our husbands that we're not okay with it. But then we use that as our wall of blame against you of why we're so unhappy. So again, please share.
Oh, those were 5 amazing examples on why you should lie to your wife. Yeah, and listen, man, it's one thing I do on this channel is I like to address things head on. This isn't a popular subject that you would want to freaking talk about, but it's essential for the survival of your relationship and the survival of your marriage. You gentlemen have to understand how to manage your relationships. Do not leave it up to the woman. So all I'm saying to you gentlemen is you have to understand these particular techniques and methods in order to manage your relationship. If a woman manages the relationship, she will literally manage it right to its end. We know this. A woman wants you to be in control of your relationship. So this is just another thing that you have to understand. When you have to cover the truth, so to speak, in your relationship. Because really, most women don't want to know. Actually, all women, they really don't want to know the cold hard facts of what you've done. You don't mind, but women will not tell you because they know that it's going to change your perception of her purity and of her way of portraying that she's angelic. Because remember, women always have to take the moral high ground. They always feel that they're better than you. She has to make you feel like that in order for you to stick around, so to speak. Because if you feel that she's not worth working for, you won't work for her. That's your job, my friend. Protect and provide. Both of these things involves labor, work. I don't care what word you want to use, but that's what it comes down to. She needs you to work for her, but she has to be worth working for. All right, listen. Guys, go over to the Happy Wives School. It's an awesome, awesome channel. Go and watch some of her content. I'm going to put the link to this video in the description so you guys can go there and click on this link and go and watch the rest of it there. But Karen does an excellent job of really bringing facts. She's not afraid to just say it. So that's why I like it. Because these subjects are very sensitive to women, I love the fact that she is saying it as a woman. All right? So subscribe if you haven't already, my friends. Join the membership club. Here's a link if you haven't done so already. It's free. Come on over there. Join up. This is where you'll meet like-minded people and you can have open private conversations. Okay? And if you want to book a chat, log in to askanolderman.com. So my friends, until next time, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.